Oh, here he is.
Oh,
All right.
How are you?
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It sound okay? Because I'm recording from a very noisy big place. But is it all right? Do I sound all right?
Yeah, sounds great. No, honestly, you
Good,
can't tell that you're
good.
in a noisy place at all. There's Joe.
Hey Joe, how you doing?
How you doing? Yeah, good.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, great talk. I'm really glad that we were part of your, in a very small way, part of your journey. It's been fantastic. So yeah, it's brilliant, amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe. You're free to go now. I just wanted to witness this meeting. Lovely.
I'll see you guys. Have fun.
Bye. Okay, Declan. So we are here to talk about Into Games, which is the ultimate platform for young people who want to find out more about careers in games and also get their foot in the door. So please do start by introducing yourself and tell us, in your words, what Into Games does.
So I'm Declan. I'm the CEO of Into Games. We are an organization that was set up about 6 years ago to help create a like fairer, more equitable pathway into the industry. Because it's really hard to know where to go, what to do, where you might fit, how to connect with sector professionals. All these things were, certainly when we started it, were quite hard to access, unless you, had someone that you knew was in the industry or like you were connected to it. But from our perspective, our mission was to really try and make that information as accessible as possible and try and make it that anyone, no matter their background or where they're from in the country, could access in some way a pathway to a career in the video games industry.
I love that. Amazing. Well, I'm sure everyone watching is already frantically Googling Into Games. But don't worry, guys, we've included it in the ultimate resources spreadsheet that I've shared with you all, that I'll share the link to again, but also I will share the direct link to Into Games. So obviously you are the perfect speaker for all of the people watching because you have all the best words of wisdom, all the best gems. So what would you like to say, like primarily to the young people watching about careers in the games industry?
Hmm. Yeah, so firstly, that there is a place for you, I think is the biggest thing. No matter where you're from, there is a place for you in the game sector. That's the first thing. Second thing is it's really hard to get into the game sector. So yes, there is a place for you, but you are going to have to try really, really, really hard to get there. It's certainly not an industry where, as I say, there's lots and lots of jobs, there's lots of opportunities. It's the best of the best that get those jobs. And that's not to try and dissuade anyone from starting that pathway, because a job in the games industry doesn't need to be the end goal, right? There's a lot of things in between that, from deciding you want to get into games to understanding that pathway, learning how the tools work that might be dependent in terms of your discipline that you're focusing on. And then there's loads of other creative outlets outside of games. I think that's a really exciting thing. Like the skills of how to make a video game are applicable like across all different kinds of industries. And I certainly don't want to tell anybody to go to another industry because games is great and the creative industries is amazing and there's a fantastic bunch of opportunities there. But certainly game development as a skill is useful in theatre, it's useful in marketing and media, it's useful in architecture, it's useful in even in small ways, even in medicine now. You've got hospitals gamifying a lot of the kind of health stuff. So there's all kinds of different potential routes. So I would I'd say that really it's for you, and you can do it, you can make it. And there is a lot of resource out there for you. And the great thing about the games industry is that as we just saw previously, as we see pretty much with all, I'm sure with all the game speakers on this call, people are really free with their advice and guidance in the games industry. So it's hard to get into, but there's so much out there for you to draw upon to boost your skills and to get to where you need and to know what good looks like. And I say that's another really important thing here. Knowing what good looks like is, you should know what an entry level role looks like in terms of your CV and your portfolio. Even if you're, years and years away from that, it's great to know where you need to aim, even if it seems like a long, long way away.
Absolutely, and you will get there. Like you will, perseverance, resilience. But what I love what you said about the fact that gamification is now a skill needed in every industry. That is something that we want to make so clear this week. The fact that you do not need to be a purist. You don't need to be a game person in a games industry. You can be a game person in lots of different industries, or you can take those development skills and apply them in lots of different other things beyond games even. And I think that that is the beauty of the creative industries, is that they kind of do all overlap anyway, and all of these skills are transferable. So what kind of other skills, other than, you know, obviously kind of being able to develop and things like that, tell us about other jobs that that the young people watching might not know exist in the games industry too.
Yeah, so the games industry has over 150 different roles in it. So, you don't have to be somebody that's really into programming. You don't have to be somebody that's really into art. You could be somebody that's just really into like organizing stuff. There's roles for those kind of people. There's roles for everything from community and marketing managers. So, how we sell the game, how we then develop that community ongoing with that game. I'm sure a lot of people watching will be part of game communities themselves. They're probably interactive with things like community managers. That is a role. That's something that exists and is growing quite substantially. Additionally to that, because the games industry is on the kind of cutting edge of creativity and technology, it's often something that there'll be new roles all the time. So suddenly a role will pop in and it'll be like, oh, wow, okay, what is that? What does that do? What does an advanced economy designer do? I mean, there's all these kind of crazy roles that are available to people who have a really broad range of skills. I mean, growing roles at the moment, so kind of quite well known, but growing roles, I would say a big one is technical artist. This is somebody that is kind of that bridge between the kind of art in the game and the kind of programming skills needed to bring that art to life in some way. So a technical artist will use all kinds of different tools dependent on the engine they're using, but is very much, and I'd say this with most roles in the industry, it's very much like it's hard to say exactly what skills you would need when it comes to tools and things like that, because that just changes constantly. So I think if you a safe place to go is to go, do you love learning, right? If you love learning, and you love video games, and you have a real drive in any of the kind of major discipline areas, so art, design, marketing, quality assurance, any of these kind of areas, then there is absolutely a place for you. But I think it starts with a love of learning. It starts with, you being the kind of person that doesn't just do the bare minimum. You being the kind of person that's just interested and curious, just wants to find out a little bit more, just wants to kind of delve into that next video or next piece of learning to kind of improve yourself and get better and better and better. And I think those are the kind of people, no matter what discipline you're going for, are the ones that consistently shine in the games industry. And it's the ones that the industry is looking for. Technical skills can be learned. That's fine. You can always learn how to use a tool. But I think underlyingly, that love to learn and that love to work with people, work in teams, not just be a kind of alone. You can be an indie developer. You can be on your own. If that's the kind of person you are, that's great. But the majority of how games are made are in groups of people. And so that kind of teamwork, that kind of love of learning, and that kind of real passion in some area, whatever it is, will get you to where you need to be. And when it comes to let's say the roles that are available that people might not know, I'd say this: look at what a technical artist is. Type in technical artist into the internet and find out what kind of thing, because that is a growing space. Look at community management; that is a growing space. And then any other big roles? I think those are the two major ones. But I'd say there's 150 roles to look at. If you go to the Intergames website, you'll see them all, and you'll be, you can search by your own talent and your own skills to find out where you're kind of placed.
Amazing, what a useful tool. But you're so right. I think in these tech-heavy industries, the technology is always evolving, and the thing that separates the people from the maybes to the yeses are the ones that are actively trying to keep up with the changes. They're so curious and interested in the industry itself that they are learning as the evolving happens. So let's talk about, wait, let me go back to my questions and make sure that I've got, because I sent you a list of questions, didn't I? And we haven't stuck to them at all. Okay,
How should they prep themselves?
Huh?
How should they prep themselves to get into industry? Is that it? Not the question? That's what I'm prepared
Well,
for.
yes, I think I could learn a thing or two from that. Um, so, okay, actually, do you know what? One question really quickly, because you have a really good ear to the ground. This is not in the list of questions, it's off the cuff. Again, I'm going off these. Because you have such a good ear to the ground on like the development in the games industry, like
Hmm.
how much is it growing? Because it is growing, isn't it?
The games industry is growing. What does grow? The big question really. What does growth look like in certain ways? So yes, it's growing in terms of how much it's worth. Um, is it growing in terms of the amount of people that are employed directly in the games industry? Not sure. Not necessarily at the moment. Is our games industry skills growing in all other areas, enabling people to get jobs in other sectors based on their skills? 100%. So, that's, I say, go back to that thing we were talking about at the start. Even if you want to get into the games industry right now, like just keep a really open mind. Don't feel like just getting a job in the games industry is like your end goal 100%. Like it's okay to be in other sectors using those skills. I think that's where the growth is
Yeah.
currently. That's what we're seeing.
No, very interesting. I think that is a really good point. It's kind of like writing. It's like, there are so many people writing now for like the pharmaceutical industry, that kind of thing. You can still
Absolutely.
apply that skill in so many different areas. Okay, so how can people start gaining skills and knowledge to help get into the games industry in the last 3 minutes that we have? Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. So firstly, big one, just start making games, little games, not big games, not MMOs. If someone asks me the question, what kind of game do you want? I want to make a sprawling open world shooter. Like just don't worry about that. That's something that might happen maybe in your life. What you want to make is small, tiny little games. Start with paper-based games. Start with making board games. Start with building or even go back from that and start remixing games that you know. I would say as a first port of call, take Monopoly, take a game you know and go, "Oh, how can we change this to make it more interesting?" Take rock, paper, scissors as a first thing and go like, how do you remix rock, paper, scissors? So that's a different thing. These are the kind of really core skills. And once again, you can learn tools and everything like that later on. That's not that important. I think the core skills are understanding like game mechanics, understanding like and getting a passion for that and a curiosity to be able to change how things work to make things more fun, right? So you're making things more fun. You're trying to find fun. That's what all developers of video games are always trying to do. They're trying to find the fun. So you try and do that in small ways yourself. Um, Go and find some tutorials online. I mean, like YouTube is full of amazing stuff. Go to Game Maker's Toolkit is incredible as a free resource, but like, everyone watching here will probably be better at certain the internet than I am. So I'm sure they'll be able to find some stuff pretty quick. But start from square one, how to build a very, very basic the simplest game possible, and then just build up your skills from there. Don't worry about the thing that you love to do in the future. Just the basics, at the same time. I would definitely apply to BAFTA Young Games Designer, which is a UK-based competition that supports young game designers aged, I think, as young as 8 upwards. So they have it in different tranches, and you can submit just a concept, or you can submit a game, or you can submit a level. There's different types of things that you can submit for depending on where you're at on your journey. And I'd definitely say like, don't worry about winning that. It's just a really nice kind of first thing to aim for. Getting an entry in for the BAFTA Young Games Designer. I think that's a good process for people to go through. And there's a lot of support around that, around how to develop your first thing with that as well. Take part in game jams and join Discord communities as well if you're old enough. So, Intergames is a great Discord community that's full of great people that can offer advice, lots of design challenges, things like that. But search that stuff out. I've realised we're at 2:30, so that's it. I'll keep that as a first starting point.
Oh my God, you absolutely crammed that in. That was fantastic. So many places to go and research. And we'll get all those links for you when we package up this video, when we do the record, put it on YouTube. We'll make sure that all the links are in the comments as well. Sorry, in the description. Thank you, Declan. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much. Thank
Thank you
you.
for coping with all the random questions that I threw at you. I appreciate that. We went completely
No,
off.
it's always amazing. Love you guys. Love everybody out there as well. And hope to see you in the games industry.
Thank you. Bye, Declan.
Take care.